Well, everybody. Sorry, my voice cracks. You know, that's what opening day does. Is it just gets you ready. But this is opening day. Hope springs eternal for everybody here in the VOR Iconic Series, or the Velocity Online Racing Iconic Series. The DW12s, the venerable old chassis of the IndyCar Series, are here racing once again for Season 5 and Round 1 here at Legacy Texas Motor Speedway for the Texas 200. Joining me in the booth, as always, is Kyle Klendworth. Clendy, welcome to Texas. Good to have you here. And once again, like I said, hope springs eternal. Everyone's even now, starting the season at 0 points.
0 points and 11 weeks of action lie on the horizon for these drivers here in the Iconic Series. And as always, if you are the champion of this series, at the end of those 11 weeks, you get a paid entry, free, comped, a promotion to the Saturday VOR IndyCar Series, where the big boys play.
And we are watching right now as qualifications are underway, as a lot of names going to the top of the list right now. But there you see the weather conditions at 66 degrees ambient, 72 degrees track temperature. So we shouldn't have much of an issue with, I would say, hot track conditions that are going to contribute to tire degradation. But we will see tire degradation as these cars will scrub off in a large amount of rubber, with especially as fast as they are going through these corners. This is the original configuration of Texas Motor Speedway, 24 degrees of banking, on both ends of the speedways. And then tomorrow for the IndyCar Championship opener, we will be on the newer reprofiled version of the Texas Motor Speedway. But 2 minutes left to go right now in qualifying, and we do see Liam O'Sullivan at the top of the charts with a 213 flat. One of your students and friends, Clendy, Maddie Sinclair, at 212.7, currently provisionally second. And right now, third is Chad Simpson, and I believe that is Satellite Racing's Chad Simpson. He is third with a 212.6. Daniel Hesche making his appearance from Brazil, 212.6 as well. And John Christensen rounding out the top five with a 212.1.
Well, our undefeated pole sitter has not yet logged a time. Altena here coming to the line to start his fast lap. He'll log a time here at bottom of the board, but he's got one more to go.
And there you see the event trivia. Julian, pole sitter, season 1, 2, and 3, but is yet to be able to translate that into a win here.
Well, he grabbed the apron really badly in 3 and 4. Let's see if that affects his time.
Currently, we are watching Dan Inch at the moment, but we'll get the camera if it transfers over to Julian.
I think Julian's going to be doing the opposite of his previous strategy. He may be going from the back to the front today rather than the front to the back.
Santos P2, 213 flat, so only two cars in the 213 range, and both are 8 100ths off one another.
Don't mind my name being on the starting grid. I goofed. I entered as a driver and not as a announcer, so
you'll be getting credit for 21st today, folks. All right. And we are getting ready to line up to go racing here. And we will get today's starting lineup in here momentarily.
And if you had to ask me, Gary, I'd say that the two championship favorites are starting on the front row today.
Yeah, I think you're right. And we will get today's starting lineup in here for round 1 here at Texas for the Texas 200. And O'Sullivan and Santos, and I think you're right. Both those guys, the only two drivers in the 213 range. They will start up front on the front row. Right next to them will be Weber and Sinclair in row 2. Simpson and Hesse, row 3. Gilherme and Silva, row 4. And Enchid Bree in row 5. Get a look at Tim Bree here. He's lined up 10th there. There he is. He's in an old Pagano livery, I believe. Moving on, Christensen and Ortiz back in row 6. Miller and Coker, row 7. Silvazzi and Walker. Walker sporting the P1 livery that I had made up a couple years ago. Back when we were the old channel still, but we reapplied the stickers to say P1 on the side. So we'll want to check out that ride later, but he's lined up in row 8. Bonnie and Castell in row 9. Now, here we go. And I am Polish, so my inner Polak is going to mess this one up already. Potaskowicz. I'm saying Potaskowicz. If that is wrong, Brooke, please let me know, and I will get myself corrected. But I am quite a bit of Polish blood in my veins by birth and family, so hopefully I'm saying that right. Julian not on the pole for a third consecutive race here at Texas Motor Speedway. He's back in row 10, lining up last with a more pedestrian 209.3 to start this race. And let's get the, actually we missed that. I had the track B-roll missing. There we go.
I think Julian was really winding up to take a big swing on his white flag lap and just maybe hustled a little too much speed through the final 2 corners. And eyes were bigger than the dinner plate.
I've been there.
If you haven't, you're not a race car driver. I firmly believe.
And there's Klendworth lined up at row 11.
In the invisible car.
All right, and we are getting ready to go green here momentarily. 133 laps ahead of us here on this Friday afternoon. Thanks for joining us.
No other place I'd rather be, Gary. Love being in the booth.
Good to have you in the booth. Good start to the season. Get a quick swig of my Coke here before we start to go racing. And we are lined up very nicely. And we are underway, and Liam O'Sullivan, big jump. Jonas Weber looking on the outside.
Yeah, let Jonas Weber get up there by Edson Santos. Very orderly start.
Looking on the outside, we have Chad Simpson and the 42 getting and also the purple lap that time by for Chad, a 212.5 in the draft as he's out on the inside of Edson Santos going on by. Meanwhile, behind them, and we're looking at the battle behind Victor Guilherme, is Bree and Silva. They were side by side going down the backstretch.
And what an absolute slugfest back here for 8th through 15th. They're 2x2x2x2x2.
We see Alexander Miller, who won a race, a surprise victory for him last season. He's looking for win number 2. Leonardo Silva on the one of the other leaner energy entries, almost getting into the wall. He's on the outside of Ryan Walker there in the P1 livery, kind of modeled after Will Power's Indy 500 car from a couple seasons ago. Julian in line. He's up to 16th now.
Silva tagged the wall. I think Ortiz followed him, or was it? It was Van Gastel. Excuse me. New schemes, new season.
New names.
Got to lock in. Yeah, new names too.
Meanwhile, back up front, it is Liam O'Sullivan is our leader. Jonas Weber second. Chad Simpson third. Santos fourth. Heshy fifth. Coming into the picture also is Maddie Sinclair in sixth. Pretty much the top six kind of starting to pull away and put a gap on the next group. It's led by Bree and Miller, who are side by side through the quad oval area.
And that's so dangerous. The quad oval, tri-oval, dog leg, whatever
Like a
you want to
funnel.
call it.
Yeah.
It's like a funnel, and there are dotted lines, but those are not the lanes. The car on the inside is expected, or the car on the outside anticipates the inside car to put their left side tires on that grass. And so the outside car feels like they have everything from the dotted line to the wall. And if somebody tries to go 3 wide, they're in for a surprise because the car on the outside is not going to give them any quarter.
A surprise is an understatement.
How about Julian, though? Working his way, slicing and dicing up. 7 spots already, maybe 8 spots. As he looks to position himself at the front of this second pack.
Watching this second pack right now as he's just sticking to the bottom, picking up spots as they become available to him. Meanwhile, top 6 is getting kind of racy.
3 wide for the lead. Oh, Simpson backed out of it.
Simpson, probably the most, I don't want to say this for a fact, but I'm thinking he might have the most starts out of everybody in this lead group. If not, he's probably second to Edson, but not by many. And Simpson wisely using that experience to back out of that battle up front very early on, 11 laps into this thing. Don't need to send it 3 wide and put yourself in a position where you could possibly finish dead last in this race.
Also, another thing about being at the top of turns 3 and 4 is that it's basically flat out, and you're going a lot further than the cars on the inside, and you're asking a lot more out of your tires. There's not really progressive banking here, so you just have to turn the wheel more and carry more speed to keep up. Every time you're in an outside line at these 1.5 mile tracks, you might think, hey, I might be saving tire because I don't have to turn the wheel as much to get to the white line, but your tires are traveling further, like a further distance. And that's where the extra wear and tear comes. And the extra load from the extra speed you carry, from the increased radius, all adds to the long-term health of your car being adversely affected.
Liam won 2 poles last season, 1 at California, 1 at Michigan. So he definitely likes the 2 mile ovals, but doing pretty good today on the 1 miler. Julian, defending series 1.5 mile, yes. And Julian won 4 races last season. He is the defending series champion, 2-time champion. Also one of the other series champions involved in this lead group right here. Edson Santos won 2 seasons ago. Julian, we'll take a look at him now. He's up 10 spots, just keeping it on the bottom. Following his teammate on through, although his teammate gave him a little bit of room, and he's going on by.
Thanks, John. I'll take that spot.
He might have just got on the radio and said, John, I got to roll, man. You got let me go. And John gave him a draft and got up out of the way. Effective hand up on the high side. Ryan Walker. You'll hear Ryan on our IIS broadcast over on P1 starting in March. He's on the outside of Julian right now. Julian now keeping it on the bottom. He is following Vitor. Vitor keeps cracking the door a little bit on the bottom, and Julian keeps threatening to fill that portion of the racetrack.
Julian's lagging back here. He's going to build a big run. Don't be surprised to see him stick his nose to the bottom here in the tri-oval.
Up in front of him is Tim Bree. Timmy's 7th right now. He's trying to get up, at least to try to pull away from this group, but they are sticking with him. Everybody in that group running together. This is a 7th on back right now as they're trying to catch up to the lead 6, who have pulled away by about 2 seconds. We'll take a look at gaps here. About a second and a third. Pretty much Julian on the high side now. Here comes Walker to the bottom. He's going to get the position on Julian. Walker, former winner in the Major Series Indy 500. We know he knows how to drive these open wheelers. He's on the high side. Julian staying on the bottom. How much more tire wear you think these guys are getting on the bottom than the guys running up top?
So they actually have less tire wear on the bottom.
Okay.
And so I would say it's somewhere to the effect of 5 to 10% on your tires every 20 laps, give or take. So at the end of a run, you're going to look, if you're on the bottom, you'll have 80% tire life, whereas somebody who ran the top the whole stint would maybe have 55, 60.
We'll ride with Julian as he's on the bottom there. And as Ricardo is outside, that is Alexander Miller, the winner last season at Las Vegas. Now we see Walker going to the high side of Bree. This is a battle for 7th spot.
And something this configuration of Texas allows is for that flat-out second groove in 1 and 2. The new reef-profiled Texas from 2020 is much flatter and much wider, so you're better off going all the way to the wall if you're in traffic like this, rather than stacking up on the door like they are here.
Julian to the outside now. I think Julian realizes he needs to catch that lead group. They're pulling away. They got about a half a straightaway on him right now. And he can't quite clear Bree. Oh, Bree had a moment coming off the corner. Not sure what happened. Let's go back, take a look real quick.
Apron bad, Gary. Apron bad.
Julian was giving him room, but Julian was wanting on by. We'll watch as Tim Bree here. Oh, yeah, a little bit of apron. A lot of apron, and then right in front of Christensen. And all that track position lost. Ooh, through the grass, too. Oh, almost door banging there with, I think that was Coker and Bonnie. But he's back in line with the guys at the end of the pack. Meanwhile, up front, there is Liam O'Sullivan. Single file, lap 25 of 133. About when do we expect first stops now?
Well, if you can go 34 laps, that's the best way to do it, because you can go 34, 68, and then a little bit after 100 and some change to get to the finish. So that's the magic lap to get the fewest number of stops.
Oh, we are only about 8 laps away from that window opening up. This is 85% fuel in these cars. No, I take that back. They might have tire. Yeah, 4 sets of tires. 1 on the car and 3 in the pits. They do have tire limits. So we'll see how well they manage those tires. But really, they're only looking at 3 or 4 stops anyway, so they should have enough tires.
Not only that, the pace has not slowed down by a considerable margin at all since they took the green flag. Fastest lap Liam O'Sullivan has run in the lead is a 24.813, and his last lap was just a 24.830. So 2 100ths is nothing you would need new rubber for should there be a yellow at the end.
And once again, here is the updated weather conditions: 66 degrees ambient, 73 degrees track temperature. Again, not an issue right now. That second group starting to reel them in a little bit. We'll take a look at gaps here one more time.
Yeah, before too long here, Altena will have the draft of Sinclair, who's the tail car of that lead pack. and then that gap will shrink exponentially.
Yeah, they've shaved it off by a tenth. Now 0.2. 1.1 as this second group now is starting to behave a little bit. That we got to get in line. We got to run this lead group down. Certainly we got it before these first round of pit stops occur.
Well, Julian fighting his way to the front of that pack has also helped. He probably has the most pace of anyone there. So them being wise to roll over rather than fight him tooth and nail for that position will pay dividends for them all.
We qualified in the 212 neighborhood, currently doing laps in the 211 neighborhood. The track record here for IndyCar, back when Kart ran here. Of course, you're saying Kart didn't run there. Well, they didn't run their race, but he did have official qualifications, and the track record is held by Kenny Breck with a speed of, and you thought 212 was fast, back in those turbocharged Kart missiles back in the day, back in 2001, 233.447 miles an hour. They were smoking around. And actually, I think a little bit of a wiggle there by Liam O'Sullivan. I do believe they probably could have gotten faster if they wanted. All right, but I think there were limitations placed upon the human body that were not allowing them to really go much faster than that. The IRL track record, go ahead.
I was going to say, the problem being when you go so fast around a bank oval like this, you don't have enough blood in your brain. You pass out. You get vertigo. Yep.
Start to gray out, as they call it in the jet fighter parlance. That means blood is not going to the brain. That is a blackout. Then you have the red out, is when you have too much blood going to the brain. And there were a couple incidences in that weekend leading up to the cancellation of that race where drivers would wreck coming off of turn 2 and the car would not stop until it reached turn 4. And it was up against the wall the entire time, but it did not come to a stop until it got to turn 4. I think Adrian Fernandez might have been in one of those particular wrecks. Yeah, Kart wisely chose not to run here, but I think really that was the beginning of the end of caution. Julian.
Oh, God. Silva's in the fence. Shane Coker collected.
Julian, our defending champion. Not looking good.
No pole, no win yet again.
Oh, and here he is. He's
the dog leg.
In line.
Just like we talked about.
Behind Walker. And something happened. Julian to the inside. Walker to the outside. Walker wasn't expecting Julian there. Julian climbs on top of Walker. Look at Christensen. He goes to the inside.
It's a great move by Christensen.
Coker runs into by Silva. Silva ran into Coker. Coker was just trying to check up.
Coker did a great job checking up. He stopped so much he knew exactly where to go. Silva just did not do the same. You gotta brake for incidents in front of you. That is 100% avoidable contact from Leandro Silva.
Yeah, let's watch that one more time. You gotta wonder kind of what he's watching. You know, we're not gonna, we can't. We're not playing stewards up here. We'll let the stewards make a ruling on this. But here you see from his point of view, he is running at 200 plus miles an hour right here. So everything does happen very quick. The closing rates of these cars are extreme. And there's the wreck happening going into 1.
Gary, I'm going to be honest here. Leandro had 3 full seconds
to he did.
Do anything else with his inputs. He did not lift. He did not divert course. He didn't brake. I think he was just hoping everyone was going to hustle on through and avoid the wreck. But you cannot anticipate that none of your competitors are going to lift and choose to live. Right?
Yeah.
Then you become the executioner, and that is not how you should be navigating the racetrack.
Yeah, there's a community phrase for that ARCA braking, and that looks like a little bit right there. But we'll see what the stewards decide. But we are now under caution, lap 38 for the window that you're speaking of who is coming to pit road, and the leaders are opting to stay out. Actually, they came in on lap 38, so they just came out. Sorry, so they came in while we were watching the replays. So, okay, good, because they really did need to stop. I didn't think staying out would have been the call, anyways. So everyone did come in that was not involved in the incident on lap 38.
Well, we do have one driver who's not yet pit. I think
Brooke Protaskowitz back there in 13th stayed out.
So maybe Brooke is hoping just for another quick yellow. Perhaps they had lost the pack and didn't. I don't understand the strategy here. Maybe they're just going to top off with 1 to green.
Yeah, they might also just trying to hit a number. I said I need to get to this number of laps to make it like a 2-stopper or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. They are at the tail end of the field with cars lining up behind them.
Lights are out on the pace car. We're going green this time. So. And
Protaskowitz on the apron to the inside, so maybe they are going to come in, get but the problem is they might possibly go a lap down if they choose to do this. Getting ready to go green here at lap 39, coming to 40. Thanks for joining us on this opening weekend for the Velocity Online Racing League. The iconic DW12s today with O'Sullivan, Simpson, Weber, Santos, and Hesse, your top 5. And the IndyCar Championship, Season 13. If you can believe it, they've reached season, let's call it lucky number 13. That will be tomorrow. Also me and Clindy in the booth here at Texas Motor Speedway. Weber on the outside of Simpson.
Sullivan's gotten too far out in front. They might build a big run on him here.
He is getting a good run. The IndyCar IRL track record here is Billy Boats at 98, speed of 225.9. And it should be to nobody's surprise that the career all-time wins leader here at Texas is Scott Dixon. Leads with 5. Castro Neves has 4. Sam Hornish has 3. Scott Sharp, Scott Goodyear, and Will Power, and Joseph Newgarden each have 2. Hesse going 3 wide down the backstretch. He's going to hold on to that 4th spot, and he moves up. Move Santos back to 1. Air still joined by Sinclair. Christensen now part of this battle, as well as Savazzi. But they are now losing touch with the top 3.
And what they'd want to see here is for the front 3 to fan out, trying all to find clean air through the corners, which will create a bigger draft envelope for them, especially down the backstretch. They were doing that often in the first run, but here it would allow that second pack to catch up almost immediately if they were to do that a few laps in a row here.
Last time we visited Texas here in these cars, Edson Santos was the winner. So we know he knows how to get around this place.
Biding his time right now. I want to give a shout to Chad Simpson's helmet. It's a hamburger. It's pretty cool looking.
That just makes me hungry right now. For many years, Texas was kind of like the Indy Racing League's version of the Michigan 500, where surprise winners would pop up here. Billy Boat got his one and only IndyCar win here. Jeff Ward got his one and only IndyCar win here. Thomas Scheckter got his first IndyCar win here. John Paul Jr. got his long-awaited second ever IndyCar win here. That was kind of the MO of this place. There was a period it became the home of Scott Goodyear and Scott Sharp, Sam Hornish. They all dominated for good chunks of time here when IndyCar came here. IRL used to come here 2 times a year. They would have a race immediately after the Indy 500 here. And then the season ender used to also be here where they would decide the championship.
But no more. Now they find themselves in Arlington, outside of Jerry's World. We'll have the street course.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a waste. We'll see how that road course works out. But again, I'm not quite sure why, despite the JP1 that they or the PJ1 or whatever they call that whatever that compound that was good for stock cars but bad for Indy cars. Whatever that is.
Not even good for stock cars.
Just another one of their gimmicks, but it obviously didn't work well for us. But maybe we see them come back someday. I would hope. I like the idea of them having another oval on the schedule that they could get up to 200 miles per hour on. And for a while, the Texas race was kind of a prelude to the Indy 500 as well in its later years. And giving drivers an experience at 200 miles per hour before sending them to Indianapolis was probably a good idea. Watching this second group right now, Christensen, Santos, Sinclair, and Hesche. Also in that group, Salvazzi back at 8th.
I think Santos and Christensen are trying to work together, organizing swaps here on the front and the back, trying to catch the leaders.
There you see, they are 1.2 back from that battle with Santos.
Like playing Santos, a game of leapfrog on the playground.
That's exactly what it is.
I go first.
And Santos 1.2 back, for that battle up and Simpson. There you see there. If you enjoy Velocity Online Racing's coverage of the VOR Iconic Series and you respect the stream, please do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing. And while you're at it, don't forget to smash the like and click the bell so you don't miss out on future Velocity Online Racing broadcasts, including tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, the opener for the IndyCar Championship, Season 13, right here at Texas Motor Speedway. Don't want to miss it. Here is the Season 5 schedule. Bring it up on your screen real quick. We're opening here at Texas next week. We will be at Michigan, which is good for Liam, who seems to have good luck there. Then we're off to our first 1 mile oval at Milwaukee. Then on to Iowa, Legacy, Kentucky, Indianapolis, Kansas, proper Phoenix, back to Auto Club, Homestead, Miami, and wrapping up the season in May, right before the Indy 500 starts here for real. At Chicagoland. That is Season 5 here of the VOR Iconic Series.
Sadly, I will not be with you next week, Gary. I'll be doing my stint of the Daytona 24 for my team, Road Racing. So, just want to wish you well and good luck next week. I'm sure they're going to put on a great show, and I'm going to be sad I missed it.
I think we're going to have Ryan Walker with us. We'll give him a bit of a dress rehearsal before the start of the IIS in March. We're watching this battle back here in this second group now. It is Santos, Christensen, and Hesche just kind of hanging out in that third spot, just kind of diligently following along. They are cut into that first group, that lead group now, almost cut it in half. 7/10 is the cushion up to that first group.
And they'll be in the draft wake here on the backstretch this time around. So Santos will probably pull right up to Simpson by the time they get to the start-finish line next lap.
Meanwhile, up front, Liam O'Sullivan taking the Indy Racing League line all the way around the bottom on that white line, then down the backstretch, down to the white line on the backstretch, is keeping the shortest distance possible, but not allowing Jonas Weber to get a peek underneath him going into 3. If he does, he's going to give up the lead. So there we see O'Sullivan down low there, that bottom line. There you see him in that very first lane. Chad Simpson kind of just scoping things out here. Let's ride with Chad here.
I think if I'm Chad, I see that lapper up ahead, and I'm thinking, how can I use this lapper to my advantage? When can I use the draft from that car, or see how that car will obstruct Liam's line, and how can I position myself to capitalize? Big problem is Jonas Weber is in the way, and we'll have first pickings at wherever Liam doesn't go, right?
We got Craig Forsyth in chat. Julian's in chat. We also have Jesper Orman. There's in chat as well. Ryan Walker checking in. Good, he's okay. And that second group has got him. There is to the inside, just off to the left, out of camera shot. That you saw the nose of Christensen peek in the frame there. There is Christensen. We ride with him. Now they're coming up to Pataskowitz and 14th. It's going to make things a little bit interesting. That is going to be, once they get into that draft window, that's going to impact how these cars behave. They are just about there. They are 1.5, actually, from where we are with Christensen. Now we ride with Liam. Liam is 1.1, so he is just on the verge of the draft envelope of the car in front of him. There is out the gearbox of Pataskowitz. Going into 3 and 4.
8 angry sharks right behind. Looking to get that next lap down on the...
Dun-dun, dun-dun, dun-dun.
I always feel like a pack of cars really act like a school of fish. If you ever watch fish swim next to each other and react to one another, the way the bodies move, if there's a foreign object or a predator, the way they dart around to avoid, incidents or trouble in the water is very similar to what race car drivers do behind the wheel. It's kind of cool how they're traveling through different fluids at different speeds, but the motions are similar.
And Simpson falling back 2 spots. So Christensen and Hesje getting around Simpson. Simpson looks like he's really saving those tires. He has not left the high line.
I'm going to say it again, Gary. I think him being on the high side this whole time has hurt his tires. And, if he's married to that high side, so be it. But so far, it's cost him 2 spots.
Well, we'll continue to watch him. He's probably, again, one of the more experienced drivers in this lead pack in terms of number of IndyCar starts. And the leader has caught the back marker. So we'll see how this works. Is the back marker going to stay low? Whoa! And it comes up off the bottom just a little bit. Probably gave Liam a little bit of a heart attack, but Liam on the outside will get the spot. So will Jonas. So will Christensen now up to 3rd. Hesje now has us. Hesje's going to be in a bit of a pickle. And exactly, he's going to be in a pick because he has no place to go. Chad Simpson to the high side now. Hesje on by. But Edson Santos going to have a full head of steam and might get a peek of the position underneath him. And he lost that position.
Pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure when you're that lap car to stay out of the leader's way and to hold a steady line. I think Brooke is learning there. Looks like they had put their left sides on the apron a couple of times, but they did a great job saving that car. Santos just did the same through 1 and 2, trying to track down the leaders.
Yeah, we're gonna watch Hesje get a big run down the backstretch and get one of those spots back. And also Silvazzi's going to stay in the draft of Hesje and come on right on by So that little mistake cost Edson Santos 2 spots here on lap 72 of 133. Past the halfway point. We are 34 laps into this second stint. So we are at a place where the window is open. If they want to stop now, they can. And then they'll have one stop to the end, right around or just around lap 100.
If anyone can make it into the late 80s, like say late lap 88, 89, you can go from there to the finish if you get the same economy. I don't know if that's possible, and it doesn't look like anyone's saving fuel very aggressively. Maybe Maddie Sinclair has, but I don't believe anyone else has been off the accelerator to that extent. Because they basically went green on lap 40, right? So if you go 40, 80, 120, you're about 12 laps short. Maddie Sinclair's the first one to come in for fresh tires and fuel here. Hitting off of turn 3 rather than off of turn 4. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think the rules. I think the rules are to come in off of 4 or off of 3. Excuse me. So we will take a look at Maddie Sinclair on pit road there in that. Havoline throwback to, well, it could be from any one of the Newman Haas drivers back in the day. Could be Andretti, could be Mario, could even be Nigel Mansell.
Now, normally I would caution Maddie on pit exit here. Texas is usually really slick, but today's so cool and overcast, he might be able to just ham on it and make up some time here. Discretion being the better part of valor.
Always.
Off of the pit. Off the pit road access lane. Nice and clean for the 13. No bad luck for him today so far.
13th and 13th. All right. Liam O'Sullivan now still holding on to the lead. When do we see him make this turn down pit road? Will the undercut be something that's going to help Maddie? We'll watch that.
If anything, it's the clean air, right? If he can catch on to the draft of those leaders once they stop in a few laps here and he's still within drafting range, his tires will have not suffered that badly running out by his lonesome, but his lap time will, I believe. Liam will be coming in this time by.
All right, and if you're just joining us, this is Velocity Online Racing's coverage of the VOR Iconic Series coming to you from Legacy Texas Motor Speedway. For the Texas 200, we've completed now 79 laps of 133 scheduled. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race. Here comes Liam O'Sullivan along with Edson Santos.
Now this is where Jonas Weber needs to execute on pit road better than Liam to get ahead of him, not on the racetrack, but through the pit cycle. It's almost impossible to pass someone who's in the lead here who has clean air and unfettered access to the white line, which is the shortest, fastest way around this track. What Weber has to do is get in and out of the pits faster than O'Sullivan.
Very active pit road right now. And here comes Chad and Jonas. So you just see them in the background. Here they come.
So Jonas hugged closer to the wall through 3 and 4 on his pit in, but O'Sullivan carried more speed. So we'll see which strategy was faster. Oh, Weber!
Oh, Weber!
That
is going to be costly. And Simpson's definitely going to get the position here.
Weber might be in jeopardy of losing a lap. He's still not in his box, Gary.
No, he's not.
So there goes O'Sullivan blasting by Simpson.
Eshy's shown as a leader coming to pit road. Tim Bree now shown as P2 coming to pit road. Christensen coming off of pit road. He is currently third. Right behind him is Silvazzi. And there comes Liam around his teammate. And right with him is Edson Santos and Chad Simpson. again, right now, in terms of drivers left in this race, these two drivers right here probably, along with Inch, I think are probably the most starts in an IndyCar on this service.
I think Daniel Hashey might be playing the fuel game. He's still on the track, still logging laps. Oh wait, I lied.
He has one lap into his new stint.
My relative didn't update in time. I'm sorry.
Checking Matt Johnson's chat here. Yeah, this is a very respectful league. This is a free league. If anyone wants to be a part of it, all they need to do is join the Discord, the Velocity Online Racing Discord, and sign up. It is a free league, and of course this car is free on the service, so really all you need is the ability, and there is Christensen to the inside of Heshey, the ability and the tracks. That's all you need in order to participate in this series. Season 5, there's really only, I could count on probably 2 fingers, a number of DW12 leagues out there right now, and they're both covered by me. One here in VOR, and then later this season over on P1, we'll have the start of the Dark Horse DW12 series. But this is a good platform to learn IndyCar racing in. And then you can take the step up to the R18, which has the active tools in the cockpit. These cars do not have the active tools, so what you have in terms of the setup in a fixed setup race is all you're going to have in terms of roll bar and weight jacker. You can adjust the brake bias. That's about it. This is a true driver's. That's a true driver's car, though. Is you, your left and right hand, and your left and right foot is what's guiding you around in this car. Meanwhile, back up front, it is Liam O'Sullivan. He's continuing to lead. He has himself an 0.8 of a second lead over Santos. Santos back in the clutches of Simpson. Simpson just riding it out in the draft of Santos. Meanwhile, back Simpson, Salvazzi side by side with Christensen through the quad oval. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'd say if I was Simpson, I would work really hard to work with Edson to make sure we don't let Liam run away. Swap a couple of times, make sure you're within half a second so you're definitely within that draft window instead of, risking Liam having 2 or 3 really good laps and Edson having 2 or 3 bad ones. I mean, I know Edson doesn't put together 2 or 3 bad laps often, but you can put yourself in a much better position than crossing your fingers here, right?
And Santos, former series champion, season 2 champion. Or actually, season 3 champion. Season 2 champion is Julian. Season 1 is Rafi Eckert, who is Edson's teammate. We haven't seen Rafi in a while, but if he's watching, we'll shout him out. And of course, you're wondering what Leaner Energy is. It is solar management software. And originally the joke is I thought it was like an energy drink, and I was asking him about it, and he goes, "No, we are not Rich Energy." But they are an all-Brazilian team. This particular car is very popular in Brazil on this service with the Brazilian drivers. Of course, it is free with the service. Well, there's a couple Brazilian leagues that are out there that just got to find, I guess. And they run this car quite a bit. But in terms of the big regular leagues, it's pretty much Dark Horse and the Iconic Series is what's carrying the banner right now for the DW12. Used to also be in that same discussion, the old Dark Horse, or Lionheart Speedway Series. That is on hiatus in 2024 and part of 2025. But if you do like the old Lionheart guys, check us out over on P1 Monday nights at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, the ISRA, which has its roots the old Lionheart days. They have an open wheel league that we're covering on P1. Check us out on Mondays. After you check out Clindy and Mark Murphy for the IndyCar Open Series at 7 o'clock, their top split race this week at Lime Rock Park. That ought to be pretty interesting. I have never seen an IndyCar race at Lime Rock Park.
I doubt you'll ever see one in real life.
No, not in real life, that's for sure.
Expect some cars to go airborne. I've seen some very interesting screenshots from the community Discord of cars with all four tires off the wheel, all four tires off the ground. At
the top of the hill, coming out of that chicane off the backstretch, that's where I suspect that will probably happen, but we'll see. But meanwhile, we are here for the VOR Iconic Series Round 1 of Season 5, watching the battle for second between Edson Santos and Chad Simpson. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Make sure to click that like button, subscribe to the Velocity Online Racing channel so don't miss out on the next race, which is tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern. Me and Clindy in the booth for the IndyCar Championship Season 13 here at Texas Motor Speedway. Jesper Orman, who is in chat, is the defending series champion there, and he's a bit of a Texas whisperer, and I suspect he will probably do well tomorrow.
Fred's taken by surprise that we're going to Lime Rock. Yep, it's on the calendar. It will be interesting.
Lime Rock, sure. What?
I mean, it's peak off season, right? Take the cars wherever you could ever dream them of being.
Of course, Lime Rock, best known for a place where Sam Posey cut his teeth. Of course, longtime commentator on ABC and debater with Uncle Bobby at the Indy 500. Normally, he lost those debates. You ever watch any of those 80s Indy 500s? Yeah, those are quite funny. Ooh, I think Liam might have caught the apron a little bit there.
All right, this will be a big opportunity for Santos. Can he use the momentum through 3 and 4? He's going to roll the top here, see if he has a lot more speed down the front stretch. Maybe he can clear him going into turn 1.
100 of 133 scheduled, and just a momentary lapse there. That's all it took for whatever cushion that Liam had is now gone.
Santos has done it once. O'Sullivan's done it once. Simpson's avoided it by going to the top. Let's see if he can build momentum here and put a move on them both. Santos is down. Simpson's looking for the lead now.
And Liam has pretty much dominated this race. 97 laps led. He has started from the pole and has pretty much commanded the front. Shout out Alexander Bonney. He has the purple lap, a 24-2. Of course, he is our beneficiary here.
Bonney factor.
Yeah, he's our beneficiary here in the Iconic Series. He represents IFS Personal Financial Planning. They are our series sponsor. IFS Personal Financial Planning specializes in helping their clients make the most of their savings with holistic financial planning that is tailored to their specific needs over the course of their lifetimes. On average, they've been working with their clients for over 20 years, helping them navigate the complexities of investments, the uncertainties of markets, and the ever-changing legislative landscape. To learn more, you'll want to contact? Well, you'll want to contact. Let's see if we can find him here in the lineup here. Well, he's on pit road right now. But IFS Personal Financial Planning. Contact Alexander Bonney at alex@ifspfp.com. Again, that's alex@ifspfp.com. He is our sponsor here of the series. Currently, 12 cars, on the lead lap. Currently in 12th is Pim Van Castel. There is Pim right there. Tim Bree 11th, Jonas Weber 10th. Jonas had that bad pit stop where he was basically searching for the marks there for a while. Found them, but it's going to cost him on the racetrack. Dan Inch is 9th. Alexander Miller 8th. And Edson Santos coming to pit road. Final stop for the Brazilian. Gonna try to get the undercut here. Maybe a bit of a short fill as well. Now, if I'm Chad or Liam, do I answer immediately? Should I answer immediately?
I think Liam knows from the last set he was the fastest on and off pit road. I don't think he needs to worry about one lap here. Maybe wait and see if Santos cops a penalty or if a yellow comes out. You cannot get trapped one lap down.
O'Sullivan, Simpson, Christensen now your top three. Silvazzi, Hesje back in 4th and 5th. Matty Sinclair 6th. Alexander Miller, our winner from last season out of Vegas, in 7th. Inch in 8th. And Simpson coming to pit road. As we watch him
on the flat of the track
come to the cones. And he's down. And we'll watch him as he comes down pit road to his stall. Here you see the sesame seed bun on the top of his helmet there.
This makes me think about pickles. I love pickles.
Now, I'm going to date myself, but there was a commercial, a McDonald's commercial back in the day, where they would do the commercial and they would talk about all the ingredients of a Big Mac.
Yep, little song, right?
To all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, onion, pickles on a sesame seed bun. There you go. So maybe Chad Simpson is our Big Mac, and he is underway. Final stop done for him. We'll see where he pops up and shakes out when these stops end. We're 23 to go. Thanks for joining us. Liam O'Sullivan is your leader now by 2 seconds over Hesje. And again, you were talking about Hesje a little bit earlier. He's on the same schedule as everyone else, and he seems to be holding tight. Now he's in a battle with Christensen. Hesje finished on the podium a couple times last season, so we know he has it in him to get that car up there.
Very well executed pit sequence by Simpson. He's well ahead of Santos. Looks like to the tune of, I don't know, 3 seconds or so.
Yeah, 2.9, according to the gap. We'll take intervals here back to the leader. Jane Coker's asking, where is the beef? That would be a Wendy's commercial. Those old ladies, they would pick up the bud. Where's the beef?
We had plenty of beef Tuesday night on the Strength of Field race from Dover. I'll tell you that much.
That's the wrong kind of beef.
Well, we're going to freeze that beef. Hopefully.
That's the spicy beef.
Miller and Ortiz both coming in this time by.
Caution on the racetrack.
Oh, this is exactly what John Christensen and Liam O'Sullivan wanted in the Altena Autosport cars, but spells daggers for
Santos and Simpson, and it is Brooke Potaskowitz, and we'll see what happens as she is. I say Brooke is. Did we catch the apron? Oh no, we clipped. We clipped. Is that Vito? Who did he clip? Silva?
That's Ortiz. She clipped
Ortiz.
Ortiz because Ortiz was following Sinclair into the pits. I think Sinclair checked up a little more than Ortiz wanted, and then a little bit of opposite lock to save the car. Came back up on the banking, and Brooke was right there with nowhere to go.
Oh, yeah, a little bit of net code involved there too, but yeah.
Matty Sinclair is in great position to capitalize from that misfortune that happened right behind him.
And very reminiscent of kind of what we saw happen a couple of years ago to, let's see, there was a wreck going into 3 with Helio Castroneves, and also, I think also got, oh gosh, it was Graham Rahal, and I think it was involving Devlin DeFrancesco. in a very similar type of situation, not coming on the pit road, just kind of running out of room there in turns 3 and 4.
We're not going to have that much longer to go in this race. Just, I don't know,
leaders coming off of pit road. Leaders are coming off of pit road. I would imagine, though, that Simpson and Santos are going to stay out and Simpson coming down pit road.
Interesting. That he's giving up on the wave around to try to finish as the first car 1 lap down. That means the best he's going to finish today is 9th. Unless there's trouble on this restart.
Yeah, final set of tires, maybe. Yeah. Santos is the only running Leaner Energy car right now. As you see, 2 other Leaner Energy cars on pit road that are currently have issues. And then we see a little bit on the ad blocker there on Santos's car on the left side has some scuffs. So a little bit of contact on his left side has occurred with another car. Now, Santos did stay out. He will get the wave around. There he is, wave around right now. Also getting the wave around, Salvazzi. Miller getting the wave around.
That'll be it.
And that's it. And the pace car then will pick up our leader, which is O'Sullivan. He will bring the field to green. That is his right as the leader. It is teammates up front, O'Sullivan and Christensen, followed by Hesche, who is he brought that car back up to a podium spot. Dan Inch also involved here. Dan Inch up the 4th. Jonas Weber has recovered from a very bad pit stop. He is now 5th. Matty Sinclair 6th. Tim Bree 7th. Pim Van Gestel is now 8th. I do see Chad Simpson on the lead lap in 9th. So he must have got on the lead lap just by virtue of track position. Santos in 10th. Salvazzi 11th. Miller 1 lap down in 12th. So 11 cars on the lead lap. We're going to have a shootout and a sprint to the end with 15 to go. Don't go anywhere.
Green flag, green flag.
Bree is the tail end of the lead pack. They've broken away from everyone behind. It's going to be the top 7 cars going to be fighting for the win here.
O'Sullivan, Christensen, Hesche, Weber, Inch, your top 5. Good start to the season for all these guys. Can they get through the next 14 laps? There we see Sinclair to the inside of Bree getting the position. Bree trying to take a look to the inside of Sinclair, but there was going to be no room. Now we see Sinclair in the draft of Inch. Trying to get around Inch.
That caution may have saved Jonas Weber's race, but he's the one in control now. He's looking to position himself in 2nd.
Yep, and he's moved up to 3rd. He's on the outside challenging for 2nd. And he's really working that wheel. You see him weaving a little bit. He's trying to crowd down Christensen a little bit, and I would be cognizant of these cars and netcode. It is a big problem. So you're not going to get a side draft necessarily out of these cars, but you might initiate contact in a wreck. Even as much as right there, even as close as that, you can initiate netcode. 11 to go.
Like the ad blockers get hooked, kind of like Sebulba and Anakin coming to the end of the Boot to Eve Classic.
Right.
Gee, whoo! What a checkup there to avoid disaster.
Bree on the outside. Now Bree's going to have a little bit of a draft. If Weber's going to stay on the outside, Bree might be able to suck up into this battle by getting into that draft envelope. Oh, Christensen clips the apron, and he falls back.
What a save. Now that might be disastrous for the front pack. Santos will have the draft and maybe be able to leapfrog himself into this fight. He's a long way back now. But this gives the first rung of the ladder for him to climb back to the front.
Again, staying on the bottom. O'Sullivan not giving it up. But there is no out of bounds. So if Weber wants to make a run to the inside down the back straight and try to get a move, he could do that, but there is no rule that says that O'Sullivan needs to let him back up onto the racetrack.
You could even cut the grass coming to the start-finish line. It
Yeah,
doesn't
you can.
work, but you can try.
8 to go, 3 and 4. O'Sullivan, Weber, Hesse, Bree. They're going to be the four that are going to decide this. Coming to 7 to go now.
O'Sullivan's been here before. The three behind him have never won in the Iconic Series.
Weber is experienced in open wheelers. We have seen Hesse produce some well and some races here in this series. Go on the podium, looking to better that step. Bree has shown speed and pace at times. And now he's actually putting together the performance.
New colors, new leaf, new year for Timothy Bree. Let's see if he can get on the podium.
Look, it's a little bit that I thought. Then he closes the door. He gets really close to that wide line. He just letting Jonas Weber know that that is not going to happen. 6 to go. Coming to 5 to go. Bree trying to maximize all that speed through the quad oval area, floating out high. Now he's tucked in line. Bottom
5
three
cars
stay on the
fighting
bottom.
for 5th behind.
Yeah, look at that battle you see on that. Chad Simpson's fought up through that battle. Now can he get around Christensen and get up into that 5th spot? I don't think he's going to run. He's going to run out of time to get up to that lead pack, though. He probably wishes they would just get in line and race, and maybe they could run him down, but I think they're going to run out of time with 4 to go. We got 6 miles involved here. Here we go, coming to 3 to go.
Look at what Weber's doing. He's intentionally lifting. He's building a gap between himself and O'Sullivan to build a run with the draft. You see this often at NASCAR, at Daytona and Talladega. Let's see if he can time it right and win a drag race to the line. Like right there. He's lifting right there.
Coming to 2 to go.
He's trying to see how far back he has to go when he has to time it.
I don't think he's close enough. Down to the bottom. He's going to pop out to the top. Problem is, if he pops out to the top, that's going to allow Hesse to stay on the bottom and suck right up. But, oh, wait a minute, here comes Bree. Bree clips the apron a little bit. White flag. Up to the high side, Weber. Comes down the banking, gets a run, goes to the outside. Last chance going into 3 and 4. Coming to the checkered flag. We got 4 cars side by side, and it is going to be O'Sullivan.
They stack up behind him in that wad for 5th. And that battle was won by Christensen.
So it is O'Sullivan, Weber, and Hesse, your top 3 there. Bree 4th, Christensen 5th.
That should be a feather in Christensen's hat. You know, he outdueled Edson Santos and Chad Simpson and Matty Sinclair for that 5th spot. It might have been a mistake to put him back there, but he did not falter again. Notching a top 5 here. Really good result. What a day could have been for Jonas Weber. Coming up just half a tenth short after almost ruining it or throwing it away.
Yeah, we will definitely talk to him about that in the interview. Is the disastrous pit stop that luck intervened on that one. And here you go. Liam O'Sullivan wins and is now in the chief spot for the points championship, leading off this season. with a victory by 0.046 of a second. Jonas Weber second, Hessie third, Bree fourth, Christensen fifth, Santos sixth, Sinclair seventh, Gastel in his first start here in the series eighth, Chad Simpson. He had a much better performance than ninth, but he does come home with the top 10. Dan Inch has himself a nice top 10 here to start the season. He comes home in 10th. Salvazzi 11th, Alexander 12th, Ortiz 13th, Pataskowitz 14th, Guillermo, 15th, Walker 16th, Silva 17th, Coker 18th, Altena 19th, and Bonnie in 20th. And even though you didn't race, Kyle's going to get classified in 21st. You'll get credit.
Blackjack, baby. Honestly, the hardest I've ever worked for.
All right, so we are going to talk with Daniel here first. So let's cue up some replays, and then we'll get into the interview room.
Let me know when you want me to drag him up. He's waiting for us.
All right. He is prepared. Hopefully you can read that graphics, kind of bright yellow with white text on bright yellow. Hopefully that works. All right. Bring him on up.
Welcome to the channel, Daniel. Congratulations on your third place finish today.
Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Gary.
Well, talk about your race. You definitely you weren't up in that lead group until the last pit stop and that last caution, and it kind of fell your way because you were managing to go a little bit longer than everyone. But that duel at the end, what was that like up there racing for the win?
It was a great race. I had the strategy to stay together with the leaders all the time, but there was a time when a lapped car came that I lost the draft with some drivers. So we had to try to work together to trade the positions to get in the lead pack, and we didn't have much success with it. So I went to the pit stops, and I probably should feel it less than I did. I made a full pit stop with my car, so I lost at least 2 seconds to leave. So this is not the best for the race. So I was praying for a yellow flag to join us together. I was thinking about not change my tires, but I was very afraid of leaving the pit stops with worn tires. I think that would be a problem. We have around 95% tires, but we know that this is enough to make something different in the pit exit. So it was dangerous, and then the yellow flag came, and I knew that the race would be crazy till the end, and it was.
Go ahead, Kyle.
So Daniel, you came home on the third step of the podium, probably about 1.5 feet short of second place. You had a really big run there on the bottom. What could you have done differently in the closing laps to position yourself further up on Weber's car, or had a chance to do something different to fight with Liam?
I think Liam would never never leave this inside position. So going outside to passing, it wasn't a good idea. I tried it in the last start of the race, but it was easier to lose my position than winning something. So I was waiting till the end for an opportunity. In the last turn, I had the space inside. Jonas was actually very clear in the last fight. He gave me the space, and it was on the details on where each car would be in the time of finishing the race. It was a good race from everyone. I want to take my team, Black Gold Racing, everybody that is with me on the team, and also our sponsors, Macone Setup Shop, and also Aramessing Racing. It's a company from Brazil who make accessories for the drivers.
Oh, very, very cool. Well, he's been up here enough. He knows the drill. He gets those shout outs done. Well, congratulations on the P3. You're one of these days we're going to see you up in second or get a win here. It's just a matter of time. You start appearing on these podiums. It's a wins in the offing. But a good start to the season. A P3 here at Texas. Congratulations, and we will catch you next week when we go to Michigan.
Yes, consistency is key. So a good start for the season. I'm looking to be more times here with you and maybe fight for the title. Thanks, guys. See you next week.
You got it. That is Daniel Hesse. I'm beginning to like this guy. I think we got a bit of a star in the offing here with Daniel. What do you think?
Yeah, Heshy does a great job, and he's very active in the community discords, always chiming in on setup help, happenings in the industry or moving in IndyCar or just autosports in Brazil generally. He's a really good ambassador for our Latin American friends or South American friends, and I really enjoy being able to interact with him both on the track and in the booth.
Yeah, it's good seeing him do so well. Let's bring up Jonas Weber into the booth. Jonas, welcome to the booth. Congratulations on the great recovery to second place. But the elephant in the room, sir, was the pit stop and the difficulty finding your marks. That pretty much would have ended your day, but you got a very, very fortuitous caution that brought you back up into the order. But talk about the difficulty of that pit stop and then the luck of the caution to bring you back into this race.
Yeah, first, thank you, and I'm happy to be here. But I don't actually know what happened. Like, my iRacing just didn't start my pit stop, but it didn't tell me too left, too right, like too far in front, too far back. Like, it just didn't start it. And like, I was pretty much, like, I wasn't perfectly center, but it didn't tell me anything. So I just like kept reversing and like driving back in, and at some point it just worked. But I didn't really like offset it or anything. I don't know. It was just pretty weird. But yeah, I fuel saved quite a lot while I was running on my own and behind Timothy for like a short while. So I was able to run a few laps more than the others, and I was hoping for like someone to, I don't know, bin it on pit entry. And in the end, yeah, I was very lucky that someone slid out, I think, and caused the caution for me, so I could get back on the grid because I like back in P5, I think it was. Because I knew like if I would pit before the others, like I would be fucked if a caution came out even.
Go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah, we saw in the last handful of closing laps, you were maybe falling back to try to build a run in the draft on Liam. And when you were mounting your final charge, it looked like Liam maybe backed up to you to kind of counteract the effect of the draft. Did you expect that from him, or what was your game plan going into the finish there?
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much was sitting the whole race behind Liam, so yeah, I kind of knew what he was doing. And I pretty much knew that it would be near impossible to get him because the inside line on this race was just completely unbeatable. Like, there was no way around someone if he's just like holding the inside line. I just thought like maybe if I squeeze him a bit to the inside or anything, like he might make a mistake so I can get the inside line. But yeah, it was pretty much impossible to get a run on him. Liam knows what he's doing, so
Yeah.
I tried in the end because like I just wanted to try, but I pretty much knew that it was over.
Well, definitely a statement race from you today. Hopefully you can go toe-to-toe with Liam the rest of the season.
Yeah, hope so as well.
And I think anybody else, though, when they have that problem with that pit stop, might possibly park the car or rage quit at that point. And the fact that you stuck with it and managed to pull out a P2 after that says a lot. So it says about a lot about your driving spirit. So congratulations on that, and just sticking to it, sticking to your strategy, sticking to your guns, and it just pays off. Any shout outs, friends, family, sponsors that you'd like to say hi to before we let you go?
Yeah, obviously, like to my whole team. Like, I think you also know Jan Kurbs from EGP. Like, my teammates, to everyone, to also like to Liam for helping me, and like obviously also for Julian for allowing me to have me back here again. So yeah.
Well, congratulations on the P2. Great start to the season, but even better, recovery in the race. Coming home after a disastrous pit stop. We'll just say what it is. But coming home second and only finishing 0.046 of a second off the win is, I think, you might as well just count it almost as a win, all things considered. Congratulations, and we will catch you at the next race at Michigan.
Yeah, hopefully see you then again.
Yeah, you got it. Looking in chat, Daniel goes, "You're beginning to like me. I thought we were friends." No, I'm beginning to become a fan. I guess that's probably the phraseology in English, becoming a fan. But yeah, let's get Liam in here. And there he is, Liam O'Sullivan, the winner today at the Texas 200. And, man, you really, really dominated this day. You got the pole. You didn't lead them all, but you led an overwhelming number of them. And then, of course, the purple lap. Well, it's tough to set the purple lap when you're always in the lead and you're not drafting off anybody. So only the win and only the pole, but a badly needed win because you've been looking for one on one of these 1.5 mile tracks. You kind of got those 2 mile tracks covered, but you've been missing out on these 1.5 mile tracks, and you got one today here to start the season, and a great way to start off a championship also, as now you're out of the blocks as the early points leader with the win here at Texas.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
It's a first win in DW12, which is crazy to say the amount of seconds I've had in this series. So it's nice to finally get that Friday night win after trying for 3 seasons. But yeah, I mean, that race played out perfectly. The cautions where they fell really helped for me. Restarts kind of got everyone sleeping a bit there and managed to form some nice breakaways, especially from key guys like Edson. That really helped me play with the strategy. If anything, that caution at the end, I don't think helped me. I think I would have been in a better position without that. But yeah, the bottom was OP. I mean, Jonas did a heck of a job on my outside to really try and pin me down, and great for a guy who hasn't ran this car for a year. Obviously, a ex-teammate of mine I've worked with, and really impressed with him tonight. But yeah, shame as a team perspective. John had a great run going, hit the apron like I did around lap 100, really easy to do. But yeah, great result to start the new year and hopefully take momentum into tomorrow's race.
Go on, Clindy.
You got the momentum rolling for tomorrow, and only one small mistake today, but there were a couple of times where we saw some of your competitors make a gaffe on pit road while you were nearly flawless. You were down on the flat faster than everyone else and really ripping on and off of pit road. How much practice did you do to be that good?
I mean, it's something I really focus on. Like, that's all on my main focus. Everyone does race running in practice. My main focus is coming on and off pit road. I'll drill that about 20 times each practice session to really get that marker of down to third gear. I had an indent in the wall as to where I initially broke, and then the Sunoco sign, I had to be a certain distance away of where I firmly hit it, and then you exactly hit 80. And it's similar on pit out. It's about refining that, especially when you've got guys such as Edson. The amount of times he's pulled away due to amazing amounts of time. You think of but these guys who are just flawless on pit road, and you've got to start matching them. So putting that time in to just really practicing the pit, it's the part that gets neglected by everyone, but is the freest amount of time you can find. But yeah, flawless again today. Obviously, you always run the risk of then speeding, but again, everything just went perfectly for me today. And hopefully, Michigan, I mean, I know you said, Gary, I have some good luck on 2 miles. Hopefully that can continue as well.
Well, it is hard to believe that we've seen you win before in other formulas here in the Velocity Online Racing League or in the series. But yeah, it's hard to believe we haven't seen you win the DW12. It's hard to believe that this is your first win, but I think it's just the first of many kind of cracking that door down. I always tell people that I always remember back when Greg Moore was kind of knocking on the door, and then finally he kicked it in, and then all of a sudden, he's winning all the time. Might not be too far off the truth from what could possibly happen to you. So congratulations. Shout outs, friends, family, sponsors, anyone I want to say hi to before we let you go?
Shout out mum, dad, always watching. I mean, my dad came right in the room on lap 133 and started doing a pigeon dance. Tottenham fans would understand what I mean. Granddad watching as always. I know he's there analysing everything that happens in the race, and then he'll question me about it. So I better bring my A game to that meeting after a win. And yeah, thank you to the team, obviously. Julian, we got an amazing team again for this whole year. And hopefully, I mean, this team, since I've joined, has gone so far. I think at the race spot, Open Wheels 500, just get 3 cars in that race against some of them teams was spectacular. And I hope that this team can continue to go forward in the new year. And I'm really impressed with what I'm already seeing on the data.
Well, the next Open Wheels is going to be the Hoosier 500, and it might be on a different channel with some different commentators, but we're not going to talk about that right now. But a good day for you and your team. For 2 drivers in the top 5, so a good run for Christensen. Not a great day for Julian, but 11 rounds for this championship. A lot of time for him to recover. Well, go celebrate, and we will see you in a week at Michigan.
Yep, thanks, guys.
And he mentioned something that I've talked about before, and I've worked on this stuff before, getting ready for races, and I always tell people to work on this stuff, and they're like, why do I need to work on that? Coming to pit road on under green flag conditions, you can make up so much time, and it is so critical. And the number of people that don't practice that enough, they'll practice it maybe 1 or 2 times, if that. In the preparation for a single race. I would do a series of them, and much like what he was talking about, I would find a marker and I would use that as my braking zone, and I would say that if I brake here, I'm being conservative. If I brake here, I'm going to probably be right at the line, and if I brake here, well, I need to hope that luck's with me when I hit that line. So I have a point of no return, a good point, and a conservative point, right? And I would work on that. Not only would I work on that, but I would also work on start and restarts, because I don't think a lot of drivers work on those as well, because, how hard could it be? I'm just hitting the throttle. And it's more than, like, especially if you're driving the Aero 5, it's more than just hitting the throttle. It's preventing that wheel spin in the Aero 5. In the DW12, it's staying on top of the driver in front of you so you don't lose the draft, because the draft envelope of the DW12 doesn't extend as far as the IR18 does. So those are critical things to work on, and those little finer attentions to detail, ultimately what comes out is those are the things that get you a win at the end of the day.
Yeah, I'm a prime example of it. I messed it up on Monday night in the ISRA race at Texas new version. Right? I used I hope I'm going to make it down to pit road speed marker, and I guffed it just a little bit because I was right on Mark Murphy's tail, and I had played a little strategy to get up there because I had qualified poorly, right? But you have to be perfect to make those things work. And I wasn't, but Liam was, right? Maybe we'll see that 2025 is his year.
Final thoughts here at Texas before we move on to Michigan.
Obviously, the weather played a big part in having the bottom be so dominant, but we saw a lot of good racing behind the leader, and even a lot of good racing with the leader, even though it was almost impossible to pass him. There was a lot of movement everywhere else on the racetrack, a lot of room given, a lot of respect given when people were fighting for positions, and relatively a very clean and competitive race. And even those drivers who were caught by the yellow in a manner that was not beneficial for their ending position were able to recover to have solid days, right? To kick off an 11 race season, just, hitting your marks, getting in a rhythm, and looking to build points. You had some familiar faces up front all day today, but they didn't finish there. So maybe we'll have some newcomers fight for this championship, which I think will be very entertaining down the stretch.
You got it. So that's it for today. Once again, to your podium for the Texas 200 from Legacy Texas Motor Speedway is Liam O'Sullivan getting his first win in the DW12. And again, I found that very hard to believe, but facts are facts, and that is true. Jonas Weber with the drive of the race, really, for a bad pit stop, and to manage to recover from that is nearly a miracle. And Daniel Hesse has just been showing us almost race after race, especially in the second half of last season, coming into the start of the season, that he is someone to continue to watch. in these DW12s going forward. That is your podium today from Texas. Join Clindy and myself again next week for round 2 of season 5 of the VOR Iconic Series as we head to an always entertaining race at Michigan International Speedway. Coverage, as always, will begin. Remember, it's a new time this season. We're starting at 4 instead of 3. So 4 p.m. Eastern, that's 4:00. And remember, this is a new season, and it's a new time. The correct time in your area, you can find everything right here on the Velocity Online Racing channel here on YouTube. Just go to youtube.com and search Velocity Online Racing. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game's not easy, so please help support us with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below. Let us know you thought of today's race, and if you enjoyed today's coverage, support us by smashing the like in the video. If you are new, click subscribe, and while you're at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so I'll miss out on more of Velocity Online Racing's other iRacing programming, including action from their IR18 and IndyCar series, including tomorrow the start of Season 13 of the VOR IndyCar Championship right here at Texas Motor Speedway. Coverage starts at 3 p.m. Eastern. And I do want to show everybody, before we leave here, here is the season schedule for Season 13 that you get to look forward to. And that all starts off tomorrow.
And I'll be there. And I want to see you there too. Everyone in the comments, thanks so much for participating. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, so that way tomorrow when we go live, you'll be notified and you'll be there.
Yeah, for sure. And then there is the Sprint Series, which will start January 23rd. That will also be here on the channel. There are 3 different leagues here in the Velocity Online Racing League. Check them out. VOR Iconic Series is brought to you by IFS Personal Financial Planning. IFS Personal Financial Planning specializes in helping their clients make the most of their savings with holistic financial planning that is tailored to their specific needs over the course of their lifetimes. On average, they've been working with their clients for over 20 years, helping them navigate the complexities of investments, the uncertainties of markets, and the ever-changing legislative landscape. To learn more, contact Alexander Bonney at alex@ifspfp.com. And you will find that email in the description so you can use it today. Track cams for this race are provided by Whiplash Sim Cams. Get the most out of your iRacing experience with the Whiplash Sim Cams. To learn more about Whiplash, like them on Facebook or follow them on Twitter and Instagram. The links are in the description. For business inquiries, to learn more about what we do here at Velocity Online Racing, visit velocityonlineracing.com, like them on Facebook or follow them on Twitter. So for Clindy, everyone here at Velocity Online Racing, I'm Gary Godsoe saying to all, happy Friday, and thanks for watching. And to all of our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Once again, we will catch you next week right here in Michigan for the next race up, the Velocity Online Racing Iconic Series. We'll see ya.